Hello, everyone. Just had dinner with my friend of mine. Known him since Boy Scouts, since kindergarten. Fun stuff like that. Just childhood memories, just dicking around and having a good old time. And back when guys could be guys and the sheep were not afraid. Quick one-liners like that. But it really kind of hit hard to me that that he moved from up north, where he thought he could go up there, get a job, and go to a nice college, and finally got a little into the smoky smoke, and said, "Hey, you know what? I think I'm just going to take life chill." So he did, it's kind of heart to heart there, but he means well to me, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see a guy with that much intelligence kind of go to the wayside. He went from being wouldn't want to be a youth minister, really good with computers, to now he's working as a fry cook at some Hawaiian restaurant in the middle of BFE essentially. So it's kind of heartbreaking. But what he's doing good is he's taking care of his grandma, and who has dementia. But taking care of her in ways of like cooking her meals and making sure she doesn't fall down the stairs, or taking care of her house. But I went to his house tonight and stared up at the ceiling, and noticed his house was built in the 1940s. So that means that, lead chips, aluminum wiring, old fuses. House is just a disaster. But this was this woman's home, so he's been taking care of this woman's home. He's now taken the responsibility of her husband, who just passed away, and now he's going off and showing the older generation that the newer generation is fine and taking care of things. That's kind of way taking the positive away from a negative situation. Good guy. Wish him the best of luck, and I hope I can help him get his life together a little bit. More than it already is. Smart cat. Him and I were both Eagle Scouts together, so it's really fun, Anyway, push that away for a second. While we were rooting around in his grandfather's garage, because he was talking about how he could fix it up and turn it into his own little workshop, so he could fix up the house and go from being essentially nothing in there to because you always go to an old person's shop and you always see they just have a whole bunch of crap laying around. There's old magazines from the 1940s or 80s, so depending on how long they lived, and it's kind of heartbreaking because at one point in time they used to house like a beautiful old classic car or that was the area where they built things, and because they didn't have the internet, they didn't have anything to worry about but sports, family, and church essentially. So it was a good time to put your hands together and work. That being said, found this little nifty little device. Now, if you can't guess what it is, I'll show you, because I've wanted one of these for a long time. Instead of using the long head Phillips head screwdriver, I think I have one of those laying in the shop. But anyway, it's really quite cool. It's a stethoscope, but it's a mechanic stethoscope. Essentially, what you do is you take these, you put them on your ears, and you can feel the vibration coming through this rod, and then it sends. Then in here it reverberates, and it magnifies up in these little ear hole things. It's Mechanic's MP3 player essentially, minus the Taylor Swift. But basically, what it is it's just a long dowel rod, threaded at one end, and this obviously has been broken because those threads have been redone. Looks like once or twice, but great patina on it, great brass fitting on it, just to house it, just to get way deep down in there to test the bottom end, test the exhaust manifold, test the the uppers, test the cam, test the back of the cam, you know, or the timing chain for that matter. I mean, think about it, but back in those days, they didn't have, you know, OB2 sensors. They couldn't just plug something into something and, you know, access it either on its own either on its own display or you know, use their iPhone or use their Android and run an app that says, hey, this problem's wrong, you fucked up. Here it is, take it into a shop, they're going to charge you X amount of dollars. It's nice now, but back in the day, this was that tool. This was a tool that they just essentially went, okay, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that, it's that. Okay, something is wrong with that, so shut it down, start taking it apart and see what's rubbing. And is it a ticking sound? Is it a weird vibration? Is it a you know, a squirting sound? Is it something along those lines? And it's really quite cool to think about that back in the day, instead of just going blindly into a shop, people thought, hey, I think I could make something, or I could transfer my knowledge of that doctors use, you know, because they're essentially doing the same thing. I mean, basically what it is an old stethoscope, which the other tubes went here, and they just press fitted a piece of plastic onto it, and then a nice guide rod that vibrated and allowed for the monkey on the monkey mechanic. It's a gas monkey. Essentially allowed the guy to process what was going on and give it a cheaper fix instead of having to go through and tear apart an engine or tear apart a valve train or tear apart, you know, a carburetor. They were able to understand what went on when it did. So I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know what you guys think. Just leave it down in the below and go from there. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than dealing with. It's better than the current hybrid situation, but not as good but not as bad as the old school where everything was hand built and casted. Those weren't the best days, contrary to popular belief. A lot of people might say that, but you now get one size fits all portions. You get not one size fits all, but a constant stamping process, or you get a constant component. You don't have to worry about, you know, a guy coming in and drunk off his shift, drunk from a night of partying the night before. And then coming in and making a bad part. You know, there was an old saying: never buy a car on a Monday or Friday that was built on a Monday or Friday, and that word leads true, because everyone's drunk and hungover from the weekends from Sunday, coming to work on Monday. They're pissed off. Things could be going on in their lives that that you don't know until you go on 30,000 miles down the road and the fucking engine explodes, taking you and your family with it. But yeah, that's kind of how I thought, and that's kind of what's going through my mind at the time. Anyway, have a wonderful night. You take it easy, all right? Bye bye.